The Statehouse proposal for the Ohio budget pushed the Browns closer to scoring their new $2.5 billion stadium project in Brook Park.
That plan would give the Haslam family more than $500 million in bonds to help them move. We wonder, what have the Haslams given to lawmakers now deciding on this plan?
Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trout takes a closer look now at the numbers.
At the intersection of policymaking and money, House Speaker Matt Huffman defends the integrity of the Ohio Statehouse.
There is no donor or group that is so important in terms of what they do or how much money they give that it can really affect the outcome of legislation.
But some Democrats argue the exact opposite may be true when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. The House version of the state budget gives the team exactly what they came to Columbus looking for: a pledge of $600 million from the sale of bonds to help finance their new stadium project.
This is a nice little handout for the Haslam family.
The Browns owners, Jimmy and Dee Haslam, are known as frequent donators to state politics. So I looked into the data to see how involved they were and how recently. Since 2020, the Haslams and their family have given more than $1.1 million to candidates and ballot issues in Ohio, with the majority coming in election years. 94% of their spending goes to Republicans and their causes. Campaign finance reports show that Speaker Huffman has received significantly more money than any other Ohio politician, almost $110,000 since 2020. And in 2024, he received $61,000 in an election year where Huffman ran unopposed. Senate President Rob McCauley, the other key Statehouse decision maker, had the second most amount of money from the Haslams, just short of $59,000. Most of that came last year when McCauley was not up for re-election. On the proposed $600 million for the Browns, McCauley has not said what he plans to do with the House's budget.
These budget bills are caucus decisions at the end of the day. It's not one person's decision as to what these are going to look like.
Browns attorney Ted Taiwong says the project will bring in more revenue than it will cost.
There's going to be a return for the state on this investment.
And elections law expert Atiba Ellis explains that no campaign finance laws have been violated.
It's not unusual at all. The campaign finance system, and frankly, the system of governance, is designed to allow people to petition their lawmakers, to lobby for causes.
Donating money only becomes illegal once there's an expectation that the donations will be used to get what they want, which there is no evidence of. But Ellis does want to consider the optics.
When the donations are this large and the governing has such huge consequences on the budget and on how money is spent throughout Ohio, this gray area of, is this, if not illegal influence, but maybe inappropriate influence, that question, I think, is fair to ask.
But Huffman also argues that he has shown he wouldn't let anything convince his vote.
Opponents of the bonds for the Browns have argued that the Haslam family are big donors. Do you think that there is merit to that, or do you think that that's just how politics is?
Well, I think last week we passed a bill that none of the utilities, in fact, they were parachuting in guys from all over last Tuesday night to keep us from passing that bill. I don't know that anybody's going to write an article saying, despite the utilities' power, the General Assembly said no. Or maybe you will. We'll see.
But House Minority Leader Allison Russo wonders why the State House leaders aren't prioritizing education, property taxes, or hunger relief. She herself received $2,500 from the Haslams in 2024.
The fact that we're even talking about, or even it's in the realm of consideration that we're going to give a $600 million giveaway to billionaires is absolutely absurd.
At the Ohio Statehouse, I'm Morgan Trout reporting.
State Representative Sean Patrick Brennan submitted an amendment to House Bill 96, the state budget, that would cut out the part giving the Browns $600 million in bonds to help build that new stadium.